Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a couple of War Machine battle reports. We got the group here together trying to test out some lists here before the tournament coming up here on the 25th. And anyway, for mine, this first one will be something that's going to be kind of more arranged beforehand. So this is kind of like a counter meta where me and this Legion guy, we get to play a lot. I took Caine2 to counter him. He started taking Lylyth2 to counter me. And now I have a list that's based to try and beat Lylyth2. And he has a list that's made to beat me. So we're going to try these ones out against each other, see which one does better. But the mission here is going to be first to 5. There is kill box. You get 1 for dominating the close flag, 1 for controlling the far flag, and 2 for dominating the far flag. My list here will be Caine running the silver stormwall, also has a squire. Then I have Junior running the pink stormwall. I also have 2 units of rangers. I have a tinkerer that I just kind of switched in for this day. And then also Reinhold. On his side there, he's going to be running Lylyth2 with a succubus, 2 ravagors, Typhon, and a bolt thrower and a naga. He's also going to be having 2 shepherds, a feral geist, 2 deathstalkers, and then also a Forsaken and Gobber crew. So we actually got all the Gobbers here on this board. But really the big thing he wants to do, as it seems, is, with his clouds, he can put up a cloud so I can't see him. He can also feat to take down at least 1 storm wall. And I think he also has the threat so that the Typhon can go up and try and get sprays on me as well. For my part, I have it so that pretty much he has to use a feat to take out 1 storm wall. I still have a storm wall to hide behind, and then I can still go for the assassination. The cloud will be an issue, but hopefully I can just either charge to get to the side of one or kill the gobbers so I can do it later. So he has first turn, which is a little bit of an issue, but not super bad. And he's just doing what you'd expect, putting up Shadow Pack, moving up, and that's really it. Trying to shoot a couple of Scathers at me, but they just kind of scatter off. So on my side, I have no reason to hold back, so I just put 1 on each of the storm walls. It's going to run up. I put True Shot onto myself, and I put Arcane Shield up onto the storm wall there. Now, the Rangers are all kind of like sitting back, and at least, I get elevation on the right side. Then on the left side, all that won't really matter being in a forest, but at least it will for the Deathstalkers, so that's pretty nice. Otherwise, I could be up a lot closer, but then I know about the whole Typhon spray thing, so I didn't want to fall victim to that, so I'm holding a little bit more back. So on his turn, like we thought, he was going to feat and take out 1 storm wall. He did kind of plan to take out the storm wall and do some damage to the other one, but his dice were a little bit low, so whatever, not a huge deal, but 1 storm wall is down. And unfortunately, he took down the one I didn't want him to take down. We had a little chat about this, but with the 2 storm walls, I had the Arcane Shield up on the pink one, because if Caine loses his, that's okay, because he didn't want to feed focus to a Jack anyway. I want to keep the pink one alive because that's the one I'm going to have the junior's focus go to. So after a little talk about that, he takes down the correct one. And looking at this here, again, I normally could just run up and basically assassinate him, but that cloud is going to keep him alive. So I really need to go for attrition instead. So on my turn, things don't really work out quite the way I'd like them to, mainly because his Ravagors are so far back. I was really hoping to take out take out 1 Typhon and then 1 of the Ravagors as well, but I just could not do that with getting the ranges and where I need to be. So I just held on to my feet. Really, the Rangers went up. They shot up Typhon. Stormwall went up. He shot up Typhon. Then I went up with Caine. He was able to finish off Typhon. And then after that, really on the left side, what I tried to do was move to the flag and kill the Deathstalker there. But unfortunately, not all my models were within 4, so no scoring for me. Would have been nice to get a little bit of that extra pressure on early, but no such luck. Otherwise, Junior puts on Arcane Shield and just holds back. So on his turn, he's trying to really wipe out the Rangers, and he does just that. On the right, his Deathstalker goes up, shoots 2, then the Forsaken goes up, which makes the Deathstalker fails a command test, but then it just kind of explodes, kills all the Rangers on the right. The rest of his army really shifts to the left and goes and is able to kill all the Rangers over there. And this is where I realized I really didn't need to dedicate all those Rangers. I should have been holding them back because now, from the 12 I started, I have nothing. And that really takes the bite out of my assassination. Even worse, the Ravagore on the right tries for a shot on Caine, misses like we predict, but only misses by 2 inches, so it lights him on fire. And that's really, really bad. Now, when I looked at this situation here, I really had 2 opportunities. Lylyth2 is sitting on 2 focus, so especially with no ranger to go and mark or anything, that's going to make it very difficult. So really, if I wanted this to happen, one of the things I could do to get the numbers in my favor is that the stormwall could charge the bolt thrower. The Electro Leap's would go on to Lylyth, so that would help get some extra damage, and then I could always pod her as well. Looking at this though, I'm probably going to need to put a pod somewhere else to charge, so I don't know, we have to figure that out. But the second way I could do this is I could just stay within 4 inches of the left flag, locking it down, come over, feet, destroy the right Ravagore and some other support things over here too, and really just work on the grind. But given that I was on fire, I decided to go for the assassination. And that was a fail right away. Really because I went up with the Stormwall. It was in charge range, gets in there, connects with only 1, which really does a lot of damage, but only does 1 little Electro Leap, which only does like 2 damage. So that's really bad. Past that, I then shoot a pod. Well, okay, first of all, once the Stormwall is there, I realize how far I need to go to actually get a line onto Lylyth. So I put a pod to get me there, but then I realized that if I charge to that pod, I also lose another shot because I have to do the charge on that one little thing there. So unfortunately, what that means is that my assassination just won't work. Unless I get lucky and roll a lot of 7s, it's going to fail. So I decide to bail on that, pop my feet, I try and take down the Ravagore, and basically I come up like 4 boxes short. So I did spend 1 shot going on to the Forsaken. That worked. That killed the Forsaken. But, you know, if I would have put that one on the Stormwall and did my other one, it would have worked. I could have killed the Ravagore and done some really good things. Now I'm just really in a lot of damage because, by the way, that fire didn't go out and did 7 damage to me. So I'm kind of in a bad spot. So on his turn there, what he does is runs a Ravagore over to me so that he can shoot it and hit me automatically with blast damage. That does more so that I'm almost dead. Only have a couple boxes left. Otherwise, he goes after the Stormwall, does some damage, not too much. For a while, I'm kind of wondering if he's going to load up all of his beasts so that maybe I can pull this off. But it all doesn't matter because the fire doesn't go out and it kills me. So some of the big things I learned from this game is, first of all, I like the list. I think the list for anti-Lylyth is right. Of course, you know, we're both like club mates, so we're kind of giving away each other's secrets as we do this. So he was able to destroy the pink Stormwall, which is the right one to do. But on my part, I really have to hold Rangers back. I really threw them out there and lost them all, which was really very foolish. And then after that, not really thinking out the assassination, which really just put me in a bad spot. Would have been interesting to go back and be in a good spot where I was just doing the attrition, but then again, being on fire, you know, we were kind of joking that there should be like a gobber firefighter. But either way, my buddy takes the win, and Lylyth2 beats Caine2. So now we're on to the second one. This is going to be another Signar player that's going to be joining our group here, and he's going to be running a siege, which has what you see here in front of you, and then the other one is going to be Sloan. And I mean, I kind of wanted to try my other list, my Striker 2 list, but given all the cover fire that he could have in this list, I decided, you know what? No, I'm just going to be, don't do Dude Swarm. We'll try this again. So, same scenario, same list for me. The terrain was just moved around here. But on his side, he's going to be having Siege running a Stormwall, and then also the Minuteman. He is going to be having Junior. He's going to have his own Goblin Tinkerer. He's going to have his Long Gunners. He's going to be having his gun mages with UA, and they're running a Cyclone, and I believe that's all it is. So really for me, I'm not too worried about the stuff on the left. The gun mages, whatever. I'm just going to hide behind the forest or more than 3 inches in so I can kind of ignore them. Otherwise, I just need to win the Stormwall war, which I should, being up there 2-1. His feats definitely can take down a Stormwall quickly, but I believe if I play this right, I should be able to pull this off. So I get first turn, I run up, being a little bit more aggressive now. I have no need for True Shot, so I put Blur up instead, and of course Arcane Shield up onto the left one. The left Rangers are all hiding, so they can't be shot, and the right Rangers are in a spot where they can be threatening. But then again, that Minuteman can really mess me up, so I'll have to be careful there. So on his turn there, he's going to be putting all of his long gunners who move up into a foxhole. Minuteman's going to start sneaking up my right flank. Stormwall moving up into position. He puts up some covering fire, and that's really it. So on my side, I'm going to start the attrition. Really what happens there is that I'm going to be upkeeping the one Arcane Shield. I'm going to be allocating 2. Otherwise, I'm going to be going up and boosting my 2 shots in the Stormwall, getting some pretty solid damage after I run up a Ranger to mark him. The right one goes, and without boosts, it does some damage as well. In between that, more importantly, I do a Magic Bullet, which kills his Tinkerer. So all of a sudden, I have 2 Stormwalls to his 1, and I can fix and he can't. So that's awesome. Otherwise, I put a Storm Pod to get in his way. I put out some cover fire just because. And otherwise, everything is pretty stagnant, other than Caine moving more to the left side, because I know very well that Siege can just put me into his little foxhole thing for the Stormwall, and then he can see me. So I got to make sure I have the highest defense possible. So I got Caine with Blur behind a wall. So on his turn, he's going to move up and start working on my right Stormwall and get some pretty serious damage. So he decides, he kind of forgets to kill the Ranger, so that's all happy for me. But otherwise, yeah, the gun mages and stuff really just moving up, putting up his own cover fire, and that's his turn. He killed my pod, but that's really it. So on my turn, I'm going to go and repair my Stormwall as well. I decide that what I want to do is really try and take out Junior. So after, I had to let Blur drop this turn, but after 2 magic bullets and then of course a gate crash back, I was able to kill Junior, so that was really nice. Otherwise, more shots into his Stormwall, starting to really bring it down. My Rangers are holding position, and more pods just getting in his way. So on his turn now, this is where I think he should have popped his feet, but he didn't. Really, he has his gun mages and his Cyclone on the left, which are flanking really hard, trying to get at me. Of course, I have to be worried about that, because if they move up and start doing their little push shots, they can push me off the wall. So they are a very real danger. On the other side, his long gunners are moving up. He forgot to make the foxhole, but he does some shooting into my right Stormwall, does some really good damage now. So the entire right side is down. But when he talked about it after, he did not go for the feat, because he would have to go too far up with Siege to catch my Stormwall in it, and then he'd probably die from Caine, because I'm still holding on to my feet. So on my turn, I decide that I really have to make sure that I take care of his Stormwall. So really, after shooting and charging with the pink one, that gets the job done. I'm able to use a pod to kill his UA from his gun mages. Caine shoots up more of them. The Rangers just tie them up. On the right side, the pod killed some of those guys, some of those long gunners. The Rangers really disappointed me. They came up and they were really just supposed to shoot all those long gunners down. And I needed fives to hit, and I missed all but one. So that was really bad. But hey, I'm in a very strong position now. I have Blur back on myself. I'm back. I'm safe. And I'm feeling good. On his turn, he tries to get some revenge. And so he comes up and he takes a shot at me. And look at that roll, 655. And the worst part of it is that misses. That's going to be a 22, but I'm def 24. So poor Siege. So otherwise, then he just tries to cover for himself. He destroys that right storm wall. Otherwise, the Minuteman kills a bunch of my Rangers. They're going to fail their command test. On the left side, he's going to go and actually kill 3 of my Rangers over there, and I'll fail another command test. So that's kind of bad because I'd like to go for a scenario, or sorry, for assassination, but I kind of want a Ranger in there because he is towing in a swamp to get some concealment. So instead, I think I'm just going to go for more attrition. So that's what I do, really just kind of getting the storm wall and the grill to make sure he's not going to score on my flag anymore. The little gobber is going to go up to his flag to start scoring. And then otherwise, my shooting and stuff, the biggest thing that happened is that I kept on rolling 8s to hit that Minuteman. So that Minuteman's really messed up. His Cortex is gone. Killed a good number of the long gunners, so they're not a risk anymore. I was able to kill off all the rest of the gun mages, so they can't really run that thing anymore. Both of my Rangers rallied. I ran with the one before I did. And one of the very important things here is that during the start of the game, he actually kill boxed himself. So it's already now 3 points for me. So on his side, again, he tries to get me. So he goes for his ground and pounder because he doesn't ignore my blur, but at least he still ignores the wall. But still, the ground and pounder, as you can see, does not do it. That's going to be a 19, and I am defense 20 with blur. So again, Siege trying so hard at getting those big numbers, but it's just not big enough. And so really what else he tries to do is, bring over the what's it called? The Cyclone, but it just misses all of its shots. And then really my little Tinkerer is going to score on his turn, and then I have to do nothing. I score on my turn, and that's the end of the game. So, yeah, definitely for this game here, I really feel this is what this list is supposed to do. You can take out one storm wall, but then I can really do what I need to before you take out the other storm wall, and felt pretty comfortable. So I like the list. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be keeping the Tinkerer rather than the Stormcaller. Just means I have to paint the guy. But otherwise, yeah, liking the Caine, but I need to get more practice with Striker. So that'll be coming up later. But either way, thanks for watching. Bye.